Hi guys, Atitin here, and it's time to live, love, and law. Today's video is all about suffrage. So we will be talking about our right to vote and the who, what, when, where, why, and how of voter registration. So I hope you're all excited, as I am very excited as a new voter. So let's start. Let's talk first about where our right comes from. So suffrage is actually a constitutional right. It is found in the Constitution, and the Constitution is the highest law of the land. So suffrage is in Article 5 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Now, the term suffrage, while it sounds a lot like suffering, it doesn't mean that. Suffrage actually is derived from the Latin term
suffragium,
which means the right to vote. So suffrage is actually the right to vote in the election of officers chosen by the people and in determination of questions submitted to the people. In simple terms, suffrage is the right to vote in elections. Now, there are many kinds of election. So the one that we know, or the most common, is the regular election. So the May 2022 election is actually a regular election. And then other forms of election are special elections, plebiscite, referendum, recall, and initiative. So I will not be talking about what those kind of elections are, but if you want, you could put it in the comment section that you want a video talking about the different kinds of referendum and when does one happen. So aside from the Constitution, there are numerous national laws that guarantee our right to vote. And while there are national laws, there are actually also international legal documents that guarantee the same right. For one, we have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or the UDHR. In Article 21, it provides: 1. Everyone has the right to take part in the government of his country directly or through freely chosen representatives. 2. Everyone has the right of equal access to public service in his country. 3. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedures. Another international document is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, or the ICCPR, to which the Philippines is a party to. Article 25 states, every citizen shall have the right and the opportunity without any of the distinctions mentioned in Article 2 and without unreasonable restrictions: A. To take part in the conduct of public affairs, directly or through freely chosen representatives. B. To vote and to be elected at genuine periodic elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage and shall be held by secret ballot, guaranteeing the free expression of the will of the electors. C. To have access on general terms of equality to public service in his country. So, we already know that we have the right to vote. Now, who enjoys this right? Who are the people who can vote? If you have the qualifications of a voter, does that mean that you can automatically vote? The answer to that is no. Even if you have the qualifications, you first need to register. So only those who are registered voters are considered to be allowed to vote. Okay? So you have to register. And where do you register? In the Commission on Elections. The Commission on Elections, or Comelec, is a constitutional commission, along with the Commission on Audit and the Civil Service Commission. So these commissions are created by the Constitution itself. And these are government bodies that are independent No, it's not under any of the main branches of the government, the legislative, executive, and judiciary. So they are independent government bodies. So you go there to register. Now, how do you know that you are eligible? What makes you eligible to register as a voter? So let's talk about qualifications. So the list of qualifications is found in Article 5, Section 1 of the 1987 Constitution. And the mnemonic for the list of qualifications is CAR, as in CAR. That stands for citizenship, age, and residency. Let's talk first about citizenship. A voter must be a Filipino citizen either by birth or by naturalization. So foreigners, if they are not citizens of the Philippines, cannot vote, of course. Now, how about dual citizens? Are they allowed to vote? Can they vote? The answer to that is in a 2006 case that was decided by the Supreme Court, wherein the court said that yes, dual citizens can actually vote because they are still Filipino citizens. And then we go to the next qualification, which is age. A voter must be at least 18 years of age at the time of the election. So remember that the reckoning point is the time of the election. So it is possible that a person is still 17 and will be able to register for as long as you will be turning 18 either by tomorrow or any time between tomorrow and May 9, 2022. Okay? So that is possible. And the last qualification is residency. So there are actually two requirements to satisfy this qualification. The first one is you have to be a resident of the Philippines for at least 1 year. And second, you have to be a resident of the place wherein you propose to vote for at least 6 months immediately preceding the election. Now, what if you are staying in another country or in another city because of school or work? Does that mean that you are not eligible to vote? The answer to that is no. You are still allowed to vote, even if you live in another city or another country. And that is found actually in Section 9 of RA 8189 or the Voters Registration Act. Section 9 provides that any person who temporarily resides in another city, municipality, or country solely by any of the following reasons shall not be deemed to have lost his original residence. 1. Employment in private or public service. 2. Educational activities. 3. Work in the military or naval reservations within the Philippines. 4. Service in the AFP, PNP. Or 5. Confinement or detention in government institutions. So even OFWs can register and vote. However, they do not need to go home and register to their local Comelec offices, no? They can do that in the nearest embassy or consulate, or if they are in Taiwan, any of the nearest MECOs. So if you have the qualifications, does that mean that you are now eligible to vote? The answer to that is no. You still need to prove that you do not have all the disqualifications. So eligibility has two sides. First, that you have all the requirements or the qualifications. And second, that you have none of the disqualifications. Now, what are these disqualifications and where can we find this list? The list is found in Section 11 of RA 8189 or the Voters Registration Act. So Section 11 gives us 3 instances. First, those who are sentenced by final judgment to suffer imprisonment for not less than 1 year unless granted by a plenary pardon or an amnesty. Second, those adjudged by final judgment for having committed any crime involving disloyalty to the duly constituted government. Example, rebellion, sedition, violation of firearms law, or any crime against national security, unless restored to full civil and political rights in accordance with law. And the third one is those who are insane or incompetent persons as declared by competent authority. So under the first and second instances, the person's right to vote is automatically restored upon the expiration of 5 years after the service of sentence. So if you fall under the first or second instance, then once you have served your sentence, there is plus 5 years to that, and after that, you can now go and register to vote. So, if you have all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications, then you are eligible. So if you go to the Comelec and present that you have all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications, then most likely your application will be granted and you will be a registered voter already. Let me tell you about my experience. I am not proud to have missed 3 elections since I turned 18. No, I wasn't able to vote during the 2013 elections, the 2016 and the 2019. And I know there is no valid reason for it, but my excuses were for the 2013 and 2016 elections. I was still a student in Silliman from 2010 to 2018. So Silliman is in Dumaguete. So I didn't really know where I'm going to be during the election period. So I didn't want the hassle of, thinking about stuff. So I know it's not a valid excuse at all. No, but that is the reason why I didn't register, because I didn't know where I will be every May. I'm either in Bislig, in Davao, in Dumaguete, or in another place like a country or something. And then for the 2019 elections, I also didn't register because December 2018 up until May 2, 2019 was a season of anguish and waiting and hiding from the world for me, because I was waiting for the results of the bar. So that was my reason why I didn't register. So I'm not proud that I did that. Like, I missed 3 elections. Can you imagine? 3 elections I didn't vote. But I am so glad that in the coming elections, I can already vote. So I was able to register already. And yes, you are looking at someone who is a registered voter. And I take pride in that. No, I am so happy that I will be able to vote in this coming election. So now I'm going to talk about my experience when I registered. Like my registration experience. Ta-da! Charing. But yeah, I didn't film it because I was too anxious to, incorrectly put whatever in the forms, or maybe I will lack something, etc. So I didn't film at all. So I'm just gonna narrate it to you. I'm just gonna tell the story. So the first thing that I did was go to comelec.gov.ph, and then I clicked I Registro. It will direct you to another page, and then when you go there, in the other page, there will be details that you need to input. After that, you will reach the part where you need to set an appointment. Actually, there is an option where you don't set an appointment, but for me, I think it is better and it would be easier for you also if you put an appointment. No, if you set an appointment. So for me, I set the appointment to September 27, 2021, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. That was the appointment. And then after you fill out all that forms, etc., they will generate a PDF. So I downloaded the PDF and then I printed the PDF according to the instructions that were given. So there are certain instructions how you print it and what not to do. Like, you cannot sign it yet. You have to sign in the office of the election officer. So after that, I also filled out the health declaration form. So we are living in the season of a pandemic, so we have to do that. I filled out the health declaration form, and then I photocopied also my birth certificate as proof of like the details that I placed in the forms. And then after that, done na. I went to the Comelec, and then what's nice about online registration actually is when you go there, you don't have to queue. No, you don't have to, there's no queuing at all. You just give the forms to the person in charge, and then they're gonna ask you if you did online appointment. And I told them that yes, and then there's another piece of paper about the online appointment. So I showed that to them, and then after, I just waited a few minutes, and then they called me again to have all the papers, all the forms signed. So I did, and then after that, I was asked to wait for a few minutes again, and then I was called right away to, so that they can get my picture, my biometrics, and my e-signature. And then after that, after a few minutes again, just a few minutes actually, they already gave me the acknowledgement receipt, which meant that I'm already a registered voter. So I didn't take too much time. I only spent less than an hour in the Comelec office. So that's the beauty of online registration, because what I noticed is there were a lot of people there and they were still waiting for their number to be called. So there was a queue, and basta mahaba yung pila, tapos naghihintayan pa yung iba that their priority numbers will be called. So if you do online registration, you don't have to go through that process. So yeah, I am now a registered voter, and I know it's nothing probably for other people, but I take pride that I am a registered voter already, and I'm so happy that I get to be part of the May 2022 elections. Now, why am I vlogging about this? First is, I'm just really very happy and I want to share my excitement as a new voter, no? And second, and most importantly is, I am vlogging about this because I want to urge people to also register to vote. As in, like, go participate. We have the right to a participatory government, so let us enjoy that right. Let us be voters in this coming elections. And what is nice about Comelec is they actually extended. So for OFWs, you have until October 14, 2021 to register. And for those in the Philippines, you have from October 11 to October 30 to register. So please take the time to fill out the forms, do everything, and then go to the Comelec offices or the malls that are assigned by Comelec. So there are malls in big cities that are actually assigned to receive also registration. So please do so. And to those who, my friends, and to everyone who's watching who are not yet voters, I urge you to go register so that you can vote. And to those who have already registered, like me, to the registered voters that are watching, I hope that we will all go out on May 9, 2022 to vote, to exercise our right to vote. And while we are waiting, I hope that we will use this time to scrutinize. So the politicians, those who are running, are actually applicants for the positions, and we are part of the deciding body on who will sit on those positions. So please do your part also and research, so that we can come up with informed decisions. When we say informed decisions, these are decisions that are based on facts, and the facts are coming from sources that are verified, sources that are legitimate, that are credible. So use this time. So we still have how many months before May? Let's use this time to scrutinize. Look at the people who are running. Look at their CVs or resumes. Look at their track record, their platforms, their stand on social and political issues. Scrutinize everything and look for legitimate sources, because by this day and age, as in super dami ng misinformation na nagaganap. And please, I hope that you will not use TikTok and YouTube videos and Facebook videos and other memes, etc., as your primary source. And if you look at videos, etc., or anything that you see on the internet, please fact check. Okay, there are ways to fact check. You just have to be eager, and you have to have patience also, and you have to be masipag to fact check and not be gullible and believe just whatever you put, like you see on the internet. And then imagine that we are putting the next few years for the local elections 3 years, for national elections 6 years, diba? So we are putting those number of years to the hands of the people that we are electing. So please do your research, and please always think na you have to fact check, because maybe you won't believe it, but there are people who lie about like the things that they put on the internet. Like for example, there are people who will lie about their educational attainment or the bills that they authored or sponsored. So you have to fact check. And then second also is, please don't base your vote on who gives you the biggest love gift. No, so hopefully we don't think about that, and we always choose long-term happiness over short-term gratification. And we also need to remember, this is the last thing that I want to share or to impart to you guys, that we need to remember that while we need great leaders to lead the country, our nation needs great citizens. Okay? So be a great citizen and start it by being an intelligent voter. If you can vote, go do so. And hopefully when you do so, you become or you choose to be an intelligent voter. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. And while you're at it, might as well just click the notification bell so that you will be prompted when I post new videos. Thank you so much, and until the next video, have a wonderful life.